Good morning. 716 Delta Mike here. Dayton, Ohio to Orlando in the Avelo Virtual Airlines. Inaugural flight for me with Avelo Virtual. Be flying the PMDG 737-800. Real world livery here. November 801 XT. Be departing out of Dayton going down to Orlando. We got the fuel truck set up, connected. We're going to use GSX Pro, and we're going to jump on the inside here.
This
and
parking is too small for
let's
your
go ahead and
aircraft.
request some refueling.
Truck is on its way.
And while we're waiting on everything else, let
Please
us
don't
go
load
ahead.
aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Gotcha. We won't load the aircraft in yet. So let's get some power on here. Establish power. Emergency lights can come on. We'll get our chime on, and we'll get some ground power connected here. Get our logo light on and our position lights on. Let's come up top here. Let's get our nav to the nav position so they can go ahead and start aligning. All right, that's good. And let's go ahead and establish just a little bit of panel lighting here so we can see what we're doing. Panel lighting on up here as well. Okay. That part is done. Let's go ahead and run a few tests here. We can go ahead and do our fire test here. All right, let's show you what we got today here. Flight plan here today.
Fuel truck is in position.
All right, fuel truck's in position. Let's go ahead and let that
Please
start
don't load
loading while we're at it.
aircraft until the fuel. Please use your airplane fuel system to set the desired fuel quantity.
You got it. FS ground settings here. We got our fuel truck connected. Here we go. We'll go ahead and hit start. Jump out here. And what you'll see is we're having to use this in conjunction with the PMDG fuel truck, but you can actually see now GSX Pro fuel system counting up here, so it's actually loading our fuel in. So that part's good. And we can see the incremental fuel being loaded here. We need 19,000. We're sitting at 3,000. And if I were to go zoom in here, you can see we're loading it. So we're low on fuel right now. That's all right. Fuel's loading. All right. While that's loading, let's go ahead and get our IRS position set here. Pause in it. KDAY. It's our reference airport. We'll grab our left side GPS, paste that in here.
Wind shear. Pull up. Wind shear.
We're running our test here. All right, so Dayton. Oh, that's not what I want. KDAY right here for the origin. We'll go ahead and request our flight plan. Company route's already set in here. There's Dayton KMCO. We'll go ahead and select that and request. We'll see a message pop up here in a minute telling me it's ready to load. When that little yellow light comes on, we'll know. There we go. The yellow light's on. And that says load. So we'll go ahead and hit load, and then we should get a activate here in a moment. Activate, execute. All right, we are Victor X-Ray Papa 4155. Set that right here. Alright, so if we look at our route here, we got direct Trevo, CVG, VX. Alright, that's looking correct. So we can get our departure here and pull this back up here. We're looking like at our flight plan. We're departing off runway 18, looking to come in on 17 left on the Grinch 4. So got that. Let's show you this in for flight. So here we are in Dayton, Ohio. Trevo, CVG, VXB truffle. There's the Grinch 4 Wyatt transition. Runway 17 left with the K key transition there. All right, so let's finish programming here. We'll go departure. Going out on 18. The Dayton 7 is just a vector departure. We'll go ahead and put that in. And then our arrival into Orlando is going to be 17 left. And we're looking for the K key transition on the approach. And then we're on the Grinch 4. And we are on the Wyatt transition. Execute. Take a look at our legs here. We're looking for discos here. Runway heading 185, then radar vectors. CVG Wyatt. There we go. And here's the bottom of our arrival at Yago. 210 or 10 knots, 6,000 feet. But then we'll be on radar vectors. And then the initial approach fix here at K key for runway 17 left. There we go. So the route and all is looking good. Perf in it. Let's go here. Let's fetch our sim brief information here. So we are VXP 4155, a Boeing 738 out of Dayton going into MCO. We'll land at MCO with MSL altitude of 96 feet, so we'll set 100 there. Cost index, we'll bump that up to probably 35 or so. Block field 19035, we got that already loading. FinRes 6.5. All right, so let's go ahead and just start doing some planning here. Zero fuel weight should be 131.7, so 131.7. Pump that in here. Our reserve's going to be 6.6. Going to plug in a cost index of 35. We'll drop that right here. And so is fuel still boarding 385? We're going to cruise at 350. All right, and execute. And let's get our weather here. Top of climb winds 262 at 91. And minus 54, that looks correct. All right, N1 limit. We're not going to derate here on our takeoff. So we'll go ahead and do our takeoff here. We'll expect flaps 5 for departure here. And V speed set 36 for V1, 138 VR, V rotate 147. And actually, we probably need to let that finish the fuel finish before we set those. So as soon as the fuel is fully loaded, we'll verify those once again. And we are at 12.9, and we need to go all the way up to 19. So we got a little bit more fuel to go. Let's go ahead and request our boarding.
Is too small for your air boarding requested.
I'm gonna roll this up to about 147 for now. All right, we know our runway heading is 185. Go ahead and set there. Heading bug set. No, we don't want to board crew because we already have crew on board.
Passengers boarding starting.
Top altitude is going to be 5,000 for our departure. The star on the spec Dayton 7 departure, and we'll set 185 here also. All right. Got about 14.7 on the fuel load already, so we're almost filled up here. Fuel's still loading out there. Passengers are boarding. We'll get, as soon as the fuel trucks are out of here, we'll start the baggage and luggage loading. Hopefully we can get our stuff out of here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and run some up top flows here. We'll get our winter heat coming on. Get our trim air to the on position. We can go ahead and turn some packs on here. All right, we're going to cruise at 350. I'm going to land at roughly 100 feet. It is set. All right, that's looking good. Yaw damper can come on. Ground power, we'll go TRX here. Okay. Got a message on our FMC, unable 290 knots. All right, well, we're gonna do this. We'll set decimal 80 for our cruise, which will affect this, and then we'll do /290 here. That'll take care of that message for us.
Hello. Thank you.
All right, just about filled up here. We got 17.8 on board. We need 19. So another 1,000 pounds of fuel, and then we'll be filled up over there. Fuel truck will then get out of here. Get our bags started to load, and then we'll get out of here. We can go ahead and set this to RTO for the auto brake. Is she not just a pretty livery or what? Love the white, purple, yellow, and teal colors. I think it just looks really good. Alright. Fuel is complete, so let's go down here and let's dismiss the PMDG fuel truck here. And there comes our baggage here. PMDG truck's gonna get out of our way. Bags will start to get loaded. And then we can start to get out of here shortly. The Dayton Airport scenery picked up through Microsoft Marketplace. Had it for a while. I fly out of this airport in the real world a lot. I've even actually flown a real airplane and landed here before. Come on, bags, get loaded. Oh, here comes our bags. Alright, so let's re-verify. Let's double check our... Alright, so 4.99 then for trim, which is essentially 5. Alright, trim is set. Reset our V speeds here. Now we got it better. This is now that we're loaded with our fuel and everything, and our payloads are actually set and accurate. So we need 140 rotate at 142, and 150 is our V2 speed. So we'll roll this up to 150 here. There we go. 5,000 set. We'll get our flight director on, and our flight director on. We'll do VNAV and LNAV. All right, we're set there. And we'll go ahead and jump up top here. Let's do our stall warning test. Clock speed. Flight recorder. And there we go. And let's do our flight control check. Full right. Full left. Full forward. And full back. Alright, so we should get 22.8 out in here for Fat Sim. So we don't have any ATC on here right now. And we're going to need a squawk code. Let's set that to 2200. Set this down to standby for now. Our bags are getting loaded. Fuel's already loaded. We'll go ahead and bring our seatbelt signs to the on position. And we're going to go ahead and get some fuel pumps coming on here and get our APU fired up. So go to APU to the on position. Now APU start. EGT will start to roll up there. We'll jump back here. We should be able to start listening for the APU whine here. There it is. I can already hear it. There's the exhaust coming out. And we'll jump back inside. We see the EGT here for the APU, and now it's spooling back down. We'll watch here in the center for the APU gens to come online. Once they come online, we'll jump over. We'll put the power over to the APU gen. We can dismiss the the ground power unit then. Alright, there we go. APU gen's available, so we'll go left and right. APU gen. Packs are all in the on position. Isolation valve is set to auto. Alright, and with that, we should be able to dismiss the GPU. So let's go back and release the ground power. And we should also make sure that our parking brake is engaged. And let's go ahead and remove the ground chocks as well. We'll wait for that to wait for them to finish up the baggage out there. Come on, Joe. Quit taking a smoke break and let's load those bags. There we go. Get ourselves ready to get out of here. Alright, taking a quick look at the MCP. We got a course 185. We got our E2 speed of 150 bugged. We got our heading bug at 185. The course number 2 also at 185. Top altitude 5,000. VNAV, LNAV is engaged. Flight Director 1, Flight Director 2 is engaged. Let's go ahead and turn on our traffic rings on the left and right sides. There we go. And we've got our auto brake set to RTO for rejected takeoff. And we have our TCAS set to 2200 in standby. We've got our radio at 22.8, and I think we're looking pretty good here. We're set up in the box, and we can go ahead and go to legs. And what we will do is need to dismiss the wheel chocks here shortly, and then we'll be ready to get ourselves ready for pushback here. Go ahead and get our electric engine, electric hydraulic pumps turned on. And we'll make sure 2992 is set in the box. 2992 set here. 2992 set here. And 2992 set here. So we're set. I believe our bags are just about ready to be done there. Appear to be boarded. All right. think we are ready to
This parking is too
get
small
ourselves
for
ready
your
for
aircraft.
pushback here. All right, let's get the door shut. Get that door closed. Let's go ahead and get these chalks removed. Go back to menu here. Let's set this up for the integraph here.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
All right, and look up top here. Let's get our collision light on so we get everybody knowing we're ready for push here. And we're going to go left packs and right packs to the off position. Isolation valve is open and APU bleed is now on. And we are on the APU gen here.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
All right, we're going to want our nose to the left, tail to the right. We could go straight back. All right, they're starting to get things ready to connect here to get our pushback ready. We either want nose left or straight back push, whatever we decide here. We don't have far to go. We can go nose
Locking
left.
gear.
All right, let's double check here. We got our. All right, so we want to do quick edit, straight back, push back, manual. Let's just go nose left. So,
Release parking brakes.
all right, parking brakes are released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, engines are clear. We are going to start the right number one first. All right, and fuel coming in on two. Love the sounds of the PMDG starting up. All right, there's the starter cutout. Let's go with right side gen to the on position. And we'll bring our right side packs on as well. And let's start number one, turn in the left.
Set parking brakes.
All right, parking brakes set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
All right. All right, fuel coming in on one. All right, RTO is set. Let's go ahead and get our flap set to flaps 5. Flaps 5 set. And flaps are showing in, and flaps are indicating flaps 5. And let's go let GSX know that we have a good start.
Ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
All right, we have cutout on the left side now, so we'll get left side gen on and left side packs on, and APU bleed can now come off. Oscillation valve is in the auto position, and we should be able to kill the APU. Get our... All right, let's go Gen 1, we have power. Gen 2, we have power. Just that here, we're looking good.
Unlocking gear.
Probe heat's coming on. Don't need anti-ice right this moment. Trim air is all set. Yaw damper is set. Alright, we're looking good here. And we should be able to get taxi light coming on.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Do we have 22.8 set? 22.8 set. And Dayton ground. Avelo 4155 will be taxiing to runway 18, Dayton. All right, do we have the all clear sign yet? There's the all clear. She's holding up the pin. Good. Market brakes off. Here we go. Wave goodbye to her. All right, we are going to taxi to 18 via Alpha all the way out. We're coming up left turn here on Alpha. Guys would like to see where we're at here on the map. I'm gonna go Alpha out and all the way up to 18. All right. Get that off of here for you so you can see. And then we were going to have to cross runway 24 right up here at Alpha. And by crossing, we're just going to be crossing the threshold here, but we will be crossing. All right, flight directors are on. All right, we're clear across. Let's go ahead and get our strobe to the on position here. Landing lights on here as we cross as well.
Approaching runway 24 right.
It's clear. Clear.
Entered runway 24 right. 10,800 feet remaining.
Go ahead and get our landing lights back off and get our strobe back off here. brakes here just a little bit. So we roll up short here. Let's get our landing lights on. Let's get our strobe lights to the on position. Continuous.
Approaching
And,
runway 18.
and Dayton traffic. Avelo 4155 will be lining up. Runway 18. Dayton. Alright, here we go. We're lining up. Auto throttles can come on.
Entered runway 18.
Tunnel is clear.
8,400 feet remaining.
Alright, here we go. Lined up center line here. Spoiling them up. And okay.
Airspeed alive. 80 knots.
80 knots, cross check. Board pressure released. Rotate, here we go. Gentle back pressure and off we go.
Positive rate of climb.
Alright. You're up. RTO can come off. Go ahead and get our gear locked. Alright, heading select here, 185. Alright, flaps are coming in. Speed's coming up. 230 knots. Alright, we want to make a right-hand turn. 270. We're vectoring ourselves right now. Let's bring our altitude up to 14,000. And we will go with flight level change here. 250 knots. Overspeeding a little bit because I let the nose dip on me. Alright, autopilot engaged. And let's see, we're on our way, so let's take a look here. We want to go direct Trevo. So let's go Trevo, direct, and autopilot, and we'll go LNAV. Should now be going direct Trevo. Be a left turn here coming in, yep. Make up to 8,000 now. Oh, and here comes the breakout. How pretty is that? Well, the Avelo 737-800 is climbing out through the soup here. All right, let's get our heading bug synced up here. And we did forget to turn our TCAS on here. We should have had that already on. That's now set. All right, we're through the clouds, and let's go ahead and bring it up 350 on the MCP for our cruise altitude. And I'm going to step away for just a moment. I'll be right back.
Climbing through transition altitude.
Alright, we are back. We had to step out of the cockpit for just a minute to stretch our legs. We need to be on standard pressure, so we are now on standard pressure. We should be... Yeah, we should have had the lights off as well. Timing was bad on having to step up, stretch our legs, and hit the restroom, but we are climbing out as expected here. Climbing through 302 for 350 now. Heading bug is aligned. We are about 9 miles from CVG. That is Cincinnati Covington Airport. Don't know if we'll be able to see it through the cloud cover today. There's a gap off to our right there, but don't think we're going to be able to see it. And she's a pretty airplane, isn't she? Alright, so we got about an hour and 43 minutes for our flight today. Not wait for PMDG to release the fly pad that I'll have over here where I can look at charts and everything, hopefully, in the near future. So we're approaching 350 here. Actually, we should have been on VNAV. Well, that was the other thing. I stepped away and left the thing. We're slow on our speed right now. That'll be my fault here, but we'll push the nose down here. I was still climbing flight level change. See the CVG airport. We are not going to be able to see Cincinnati through the cloud cover here. Alright, I apologize there for the stepping away and the mishap there. We should have not been climbing this altitude at flight level change. We definitely should have been on VNAV. But airplane is correcting, doing airplane things. We're now picking up speed. We're at 232 knots and climbing in speed. So we should continue our climb. Our vertical speed is going to be very light right now, so it's going to extend our top of climb out just a little bit as we regain our speed. It's the only way to do that is to push the nose down. So nose is coming down, speed's coming up, and altitude is still climbing, but softly. But we're at 329. On our way up to 350, so we'll be there before long. Shows, looking at our rings here, looks like 15 miles or so we'll be at top of climb. It's pretty up above, isn't it? Still gaining a little bit of speed here. We're up to about 250 knots. We need to be around 270-ish or so for our decimal 79 there, just below 280. You can see the magenta speed bug set here. This is where we will probably more or less start to climb a little bit more as we reach that speed, targeted speed, and then she'll pitch the nose back up to maintain. So we hit the 350. Alright, so here's what we got so far. We just crossed CVG. fly down south of Lexington. Looks like there will be a little bit of turbulence before we get to Knoxville, so we will have to evaluate. We will turn the seatbelt signs off, but hopefully it won't cause any major issues. If it does, we'll have to turn them back on. So Lexington is HYK 112.6. We're not picking up VORs right this moment. There we go. Now we got her. So we're 39.9 miles, so about 40 miles away from HYK. There's the HYK designator. We can also go to our fixes here and put HYK in here like this if we wanted to know, and then that will give us a distance as well. There's a couple of little things. If your situational awareness, knowing where you are, if you had to call ATC right now and say, where are you? Sorry. You can now see this, right? I'll set the VOR frequency here of 112.6, which then lets us see our DME there. But also, we can go into the fixed page of the FMC and HYK. There's 1,000 to go. HYK, hit there, and that gives us our distance as well. Just nice little situational awareness tools that you can use in the cockpit to kind of know where you are at all times. You can quickly glance. If you were talking to ATC right now, you could just look right here and say we are 31 miles north of the Lexington VOR. And I'll give our flight level 346 now. So we're about to level off here at 350. And then what should happen here is, you see our cruise. We've set a targeted speed of decimal 80 at 350. So as we level off, you'll see this top number up here turn to decimal 80 in magenta. We haven't leveled off yet, but as we do, you should see that change. So you can see, there we go, FMC speed. Now it's decimal 80, 350 over here. So we're LNAV, VNAV path. So we are going to level off at 350, and we'll maintain 350 and decimal 80 in our speed. And if we needed to go faster, there's a couple ways to do that. We could do with a speed intervention and then adjust our speed here. Or we could go down to the FMC and say in cruise, we want to back off to decimal 79 or increase to decimal 81, plug that in here, and then that in turn would adjust this speed as our target. If we were to have to change altitudes for our cruise via ATC, we could also change our cruise altitude here. Punch that in. So what we got now, though, is we have to top a descent 500 miles. And that's roughly at 1713 Zulu, and it is 1609. So that's about an hour and, what is that, 4 minutes from now. We'll be top of descent, roughly. So one thing we can do while we're in cruise is go to our descent page. This has got our forecasted descent with VNAV. And we'll also descend at decimal 80, and then we'll transition at 290 knots, and then down to 240 knots below 10,000 here. But we need to pull in our forecasted winds. This will help our VNAV planning. So we can go to the forecast here, and with the PMDG, you can actually request. This will be like contacting through data links in the aircraft and pull in our wind speeds. This is also listed on our paperwork here if we were to go look at wind speeds here for our top of descent. Here we go. So here you'll have wind speeds at different altitudes, right? So 350, 290, 310, 200, 150, 100. You see what the different wind speeds and directions are based on that. So what we can do now is, now that the FMS has had the request, we'll go ahead and load those winds. And then it's going to come back at 250, 150, and 6,000. and that is loaded in our winds. Cool little feature. If you aren't using that, you should be using that for your descent. So you need to go back to your descent. So you won't see it now, but you will eventually. That forecasted winds will. And actually, if you wanted to do this different, I think I know something else. So you could actually change this to 300. And I think we could say, we want to know what it is at 300. I want to know what it is at 200. And I want to know what it is at 150. And then now, I think I can request winds. And I believe they will update. Let's see. There we go. So now we'll do load. And these numbers should... There we go. Loaded out new winds. Execute. So now we have the winds for 300, 200, and 150. Pretty neat trick. Got some high-level clouds here at 350. And what do we need? We don't really need that window anymore, so we can kill that. Let me increase our distance ring here. See a little bit more of the flight plan here. The first officer side. All right. Cruising along at 350 now. $466 miles to top of descent. So 1712. It is 6. So we're 58 minutes from top of descent now. Let's go ahead and turn our seatbelt signs off here. We'll let the cabin move about. Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, this is your captain speaking. We've reached our cruise altitude of 350 today. Expecting a fairly smooth flight. We might encounter a little bit of turbulence ahead as we cross over the area around Knoxville, Tennessee. If so, I may have to turn the seatbelt sign back on during that time, but otherwise, right now, you're free to move about the cabin. And if you need anything, grab one of our lovely flight attendants and have a drink on the house, courtesy of Avelo Airlines. Thanks for flying Avelo. Bring in some charts here. All right, we are coming in on the Grinch 4 RNAV arrival into Orlando. Planning to be landing on 17 left, though, from Block or Black on track 134 to cross Booney. At 7,000 and at 230 knots, and then on track to 129 to cross Yago at 6,210. And then on a heading of 107. So when we cross Yago, we need a heading of 107 and expect radar vectors. So let's verify. Let's jump down here. Legs. Okay, there's Booney, 230 at 7,000. Yago, 210 at 6,000. And then we are going to then expect vectors on a direction heading of 107. So that is correct. FMS is set up correctly for us. So that's looking good. Let's zoom out here a little bit then. So here's our Yago, bottom of the star. We'll depart Yago on a 107 heading and expect vectors. So we're landing south though here on 17. So let's grab the approach here for 17 left. Yago here on a 107. So K-Key is our initial approach fix, and Hervey would be where we start to pick up the ILS frequency or signal. So we'll vector ourselves into here. So we're going to need an ILS frequency of 110.95 on a 185, 110.95. All right, that's set both sides. And what was our course? 185. 185 is already set. Now, what can we do to prepare ourselves for a little something extra here, just in case ATC were to throw some curveballs? So we're planning to land 17 left. That's over here. It's a 9,000 foot runway. We could take 17 right, which is probably preferred. I can just let's set this up. Let's plan for 17 left and right. So 17 right. Let's go get a chart for that. 17 right, ILS is right here. So if we pin that, so that is 111.75. You say, what can we do? 111.75. Well, we can do this. We can go 111.75. So now we have 17 left on this side and 17 right on right here in standby. So with the push of a button, we can switch and be active for either one. And then we can go here and then do 111.75. So left, right, we can do it like this. Now we're set up for either one, and all I got to do is quickly switch. So we'll get this, both of them set on left for primary and secondary, and then standby is 111.75, which is our 17 right, which honestly sounds better to me, but we'll see. We can vector ourselves here. We can make this work. Kind of back in the soup again. High level clouds today. Seatbelt sign is still turned off. What's it looking like out on the wing here? Not too bad. All right, we're about 405 miles from our top of descent. And I'm going to take just a moment to step out of the cockpit, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We stepped out for a quick snack. Oh, I'm not sure what caused that. I had the gear pop out on me. I knew I heard something change. If I get out of my seat, sometimes my throttles disconnect because I have to unplug and replug the USB. So, all right, heading bug is synced up here. Level 350. Yours should be locked. All right, we're back. Just been doing a little bit of paperwork here, taking care of a few things. So we're 321 miles from our top of descent. Sure, our heading bug is synced up. Unlike the Airbus that automatically does this, the Boeing does require some manual inputs, which, in my opinion, is what makes flying the Boeing so much fun. All right. So we got 268 miles now to our top of descent. And let's get some stuff set up here. We want to look at our legs. So Yago is the bottom here. So YAGGO. Let's grab that. Let's go to fixes. Let's put that right here. So we're one. Okay, then we want to say roughly 100 miles before that. Draw me a circle. And let's see what I can see here. We zoom out. And there's a 100-mile circle. But I don't know if you can see it, but I've flown the 737 enough to know that right in there, you see the top of descent markers right there too. But what we did is we just created a ring, 100-mile diameter distance from the bottom of our star. That's a good visual indicator of your top of descent, just to know, just for situational awareness. So now we know we got a 100-mile marker there. Let's go do something else cool. We'll go to our legs, and just for more visual references, runway 17 left. If we pick that and then go to fix here, and we'll go to page 2, we'll drop that into here, and then let's just go ahead and give ourselves a 10-mile ring and a 5-mile ring. So now we know exactly how far we are out from the runway with visual rings as well. Now those are going to show up, but we're not going to really be able to see them. You can kind of see them now, but as we get closer to the runway, the scale will change, and then we'll be able to see there's a 10-mile ring and then a 5-mile ring. So we'll actually be able to see on the map exactly how far we are from the runway. Good visual referencing, just situational awareness, knowing where you are at all times. I cannot get over how pretty I think this livery is. She's super pretty. All right. Twofull. All right. So we got Twofull. Wyatt is the first waypoint on our arrival. And that arrival, again, is the Grinch 4 arrival. Then we'll make our way down here. Coax. Girding. Grinch. Buzz. Our Bugs. Black. Bunny. Yago. So let's study some charts here for a minute and study our restrictions and see how those compare to what we got here. And arrival. All right, so we got Mare above 240, Coax below 26, and then Girding or Greeting 290 knots above 17. Then we need to cross Bugs at 280 between 11 and 16. And then we want to go Wolf 250 knots between 9 and 14. And then bottom of the star here, Yago with 210 knots at 6,000. Oh, and I skipped Bunny here. So Bunny is actually what we were looking for. This Wolf we won't be. Wolf is if you're landing, probably landing north, actually. So since we're landing south, we want to be Bunny, 230 knots at 7,000. So let's just verify here. What do we got? So here's Mare, 290 knots above flight level 240. Coax, 290 knots below 260. Greeting, 290 knots above 17. Here's Bugs, 280 knots between 11 and 16. And then Bunny 230 at 7, Yago 210 at 6. So looking good there. Just verifying everything's going to be programmed into the FMS just as we expect it to be for our VNAV and our profile descent. $228 miles to now to our top of descent. We should have fuel on board when we land there in Orlando of 8.3. And currently we have 11.68. So another 3,000 pounds of fuel to burn off. And then our V speeds we will worry about as we get down closer. Probably will be landing flaps 30, but let's look at some weather here real quick. Show on map. Orlando right now, weather is VFR conditions. Winds are 120 at 11. Visibility is 10 miles. Clouds scattered 4,700, broken 25,000. Temperatures 27. It's a pretty warm day, 81 degrees there on the ground in Orlando. Dew point 14, altimeter 3027. We can go ahead and preset 3027. Neat little feature there of the Boeing 3027. You can see me dialing that in. But we're still on standard pressure, but now it's already preset, so all I have to do is hit the button and it's immediately to the right, preset out to altimeter. So 120, so that's still good winds for 17. We're planning 17 left. However, I'm leaning more toward 17 right. It's a 10,000 foot runway and it's right there, closer to the terminals. I have no idea exactly where Avelo parks, so I'm gonna go study real quick. Let's pull up the internet if we can, and let's see if we can't Google something. See if we can figure out what terminal. So Avelo uses Terminal A at Orlando. Terminal A, Terminal B. Terminal A, airside 1 and 2 host gates, the following gates, 1 to 29 and 1. So we need airside 1 or 2. So the ideal thing would be to figure out exactly where Avelo Airlines gates are. So airside 1 is gates 1 to 29. Airside 2 is 129. So airside 1 and 2, concourse A, Terminal A, that's what we're looking for. Let's see if we can't figure out. Well, I don't see a gate listed on here. Just trying to see if I can figure out where they fly real world. Alright, there we go. So looks like A3. Ticketing is A3. Gates 100 to 129. Where did we departed out of Dayton here? This is the one. So all we know is Terminal A. We don't actually have a gate. Interesting. Do any of these have a gate? That don't have a gate. That don't have a gate. So they land from Dayton at 10:30 tonight. Alright, so we decided 129. So we want airside 2 gates. So let's do some more studying. Airside 2. Boom. Let's go here. Airside 2 is right here. So, honestly, we could stay 17 left. And if we get off at Foxtrot, we make a pretty easy taxiway in here. Because if we land here, it's going to be way down here. We could just stay 17 left. All right, so airside 2 is what I'm thinking. And airside 2, I don't know where we're going to be. But let's shoot for... Let's try gate 126, shall we? Should we try gate 126? We'll plan for gate 126, airside 2. And we're going to continue to land on 17 left. And we will do our best to exit at Foxtrot. We'll take Foxtrot across the bridge here. We will cross 17 right at Foxtrot. And then we'll take probably Hotel or Golf up to the terminal. Probably Golf. That's our plan. We've got this. Where are we at? We're still on up here a little ways, aren't we? Alright. Back in the plane. What's it looking like for us? Cruise. 170 miles to top of descent. We are 263 from Yago, which means we're about 163 from top of descent based on that math, and see how close that lines up. The weather is really clearing up here on our flight down to Orlando now. Kind of got out of the clouds here. We are currently... Oh, where are we? We are southwest of Augusta, Georgia. And... yeah. Not really anywhere right now. Straight east of Warner Robins Air Force Base, which I travel to quite a bit for work. That would be off of our right wing. Probably, roughly, it's 58, 60 miles to the west there. So straight out that way would be Warner Robins Air Force Base. 60 miles off our right wing. What we got for situational awareness? There's a Dublin VOR. Go 113.1 DBN. Go run up here, fix, and see how far we are from DBN. .24 miles. So we are roughly 24 miles northeast of Dublin, Georgia. anybody looking to know a little bit about our virtual airline, Avelo Virtual Airlines, can show you here. They just added a few new routes that will be added into the system here, Spoon. They got Greenville, Spartanburg to New Haven, and Greenville, Spartanburg to Orlando, a route coming in here. So here's your Greenville, Spartan. You're adding a new route up to New Haven and a route down to Orlando. My favorite coming up that I'm looking forward to here is going to be Memphis, Tennessee over to Raleigh. Really looking forward to picking up Memphis in there. Looks like also they're adding in Rochester, New York, and Manchester, New Hampshire as destinations. So Rochester's a good one. Memphis over to Raleigh's a great flight. I grew up in the Memphis area, so a little sentimental to me. I like flying into that area. So that's new. And then if you've ever been out west, up into Montana, Kalispell, Montana, actually been to this airport, been snow skiing up there. Cool destination, so that's a new destination as well. So Kalispell to Los Angeles is going to be added to the routes. Those start in May. So yeah, and then 2 new routes to Florida. So that looks like Wilmington down to Florida, and then you got Washington D.C. BWI down. So yeah, there's some cool stuff coming here. Avelo, I think, is really going to grow and take off. I'm super excited and pumped about the new virtual airlines. But yeah, if you're looking for a home to fly virtually, I don't know. Let me recommend this. Let's recommend Avelo Air. Oops. Let's get you to Avelo Airlines here, and come join in with our flying, and apply now and get some bids in on some routes and start flying with us. They got their own Discord channel here. If you have any hours with any other virtual airlines, some of those hours will transfer, so that's pretty good as well. So yeah, come join in. All right, let's get a little situational awareness check in here. We should be getting down here. Where are we at? We are 37 miles now east-southeast of the Dublin VOR. And we should be coming in on, yeah, Tufel. 23 miles from Tufel, we'll be making the right-hand turn, turning a little bit more direct south at that point. And what are we looking at here? We're looking at 117 miles to our top of descent. Puts us 210 from Yago. That's the bottom. We are 228 miles now from the runway. We got rings at 5 and 10 miles out from the runway. Yeah, and we can delete this one because, well, we don't need that anymore. All right, so we got Yago in the runway. That's good. Legs. We've already looked at our star, and we already know what we're planning to do on our arrival. We're going to land 17 left. We're going to exit at, I believe it was Foxtrot, if I can remember correctly. I could be wrong on that one. Check that one more time. Yep, we're going to exit right at Foxtrot. We'll cross 17 right at Foxtrot, and then we'll take Golf up to Airside 2. And our planned parking position will be gate number 126 on wing 9. That's the plan. It could change. Stand by to stand by. What's VATSIM looking like right now? Are we going to pick up anything? Let's do a refresh here. Do we have any coverage in the area? That's looking like a no. But if you want to see here, you should be able to see where we are on the map. We just crossed over from Georgia. Well, we're still in Georgia. We're west of Savannah, northeast of Valdosta. You got Jacksonville. We would be in Jacksonville Center right now, but we do have Jacksonville approach on, so that's 127. And we got ATIS's into MCO. No, we do not, but we do have got Jacksonville approach, but I don't think that's going to help us any. I don't think they're going to work with us there, but we'll see. All right, Let's get that off the screen here for you. Just back here. There's the right-hand turn at Tufel. We're under 100 miles now, 96 miles to our top of descent. And we're going to pretend that ATC will clear us to descend via the Grinch 4 arrival, which we already know has a bottom altitude of 6,000 feet, I believe it is. So we're going to go ahead and take our MCP and we're going to dial that back to 6,000. We'll stay in VNAV and the Boeing 737 will automatically begin its descent. At the appropriate time. So there's 6,000 set. We're going to go back in here, just do, you know, the old saying, measure twice, cut once. Well, let's always double check what we're doing here. All right, 7,000 at Bernie, and here's Yago, 6,210 knots. So that is our bottom of our star. If ATC says clear via the Grinch 4, or descend via Grinch 4 arrival, then you already know what your bottom altitude is, and you know your speed, your altitude and speed restrictions along the way. So got 6,000 set in the MCP. That will be kosher and good. We'll have no problems there. Let's see. Let's jump over here. I'm noticing something showing up here. Here we go. This is the first officer screen. So there's our 100-mile ring that we drew around the bottom of our star. So that's pretty good visual to take a look at here. If we change this just a little bit, will we see? Yeah, so you can see the top of descent markers actually just outside of that. So it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 103, 104 miles out, roughly. Go ahead and sync up our heading bug here. Heading bug synced. Pretty day down in Florida. All right, so looking right now, we've been airborne 1 hour and 12 minutes. We're still at flight level 350. Yeah, we're covering 463 knots over the ground according to ForeFlight. And if we look into the cockpit here, 462, 463, that's lining up perfectly close there. So we've got a crosswind from right to left at 55 knots in the direction of 294. Ground speed's 463. We are 32 miles from Wyatt. That's the transition onto the arrival there into Orlando. Such a pretty wing view there. Alright, let's take a look and see where we're at. 64 miles from our top of descent. So we're coming right on in there. We will soon be descending down into the Orlando area. And we'll get our seatbelt signs on then, and yeah. So I've had a couple of crashes recently in Microsoft since the update, and it's one of, I've narrowed it down now to one of two applications. It's either my FSFO, Flight Sim First Officer, which I really like to use in this aircraft, or it is PACX, and I'm not sure which one it is just yet. I'm going to take a look at reinstalling both of those and or looking for updates for either one of those two, because there was a recent sim update, because I really like using both of those. So we will be updating in the next flight stream and record. Hopefully we'll be able to use FSFO, the Flight Sim First Officer, which is really cool because it goes through your checks and flows and checklists. You got a first officer sitting over in your right seat helping you with the workload here. I enjoy flying the 737 and the workload. I also fly the MD-80 a lot. It's got a pretty heavy workload, and I can do it all myself, but I really like having the first officer and the interaction. It kind of makes it fun, makes it more realistic. So hopefully that'll be back up and running on our next one. Alright, looking over on the first officer side, we're starting to see a lot of our waypoints here as we get ready to descend in. You can see our top of descent is quickly approaching here. Not sure what our scale is here. I believe that's... Alright, so there's a 40 mile. This is your 40-mile ring here, so we're probably 50 miles out. Yep, 49. I guess I narrowed it down to possibly a third option. It could be FSLTL traffic that could have been causing the problem. So we needed to check on that too, because I use that quite a bit, and I have all three of those off for this flight. I tried to start this flight earlier today, and before I got off the ground, I had a crash. So I don't know which one it was related. I started the flight back up without any of those three, and sim is running pretty smooth and flawless for that. So I'll do some more investigating, see if I can't figure it out. We might do a turnaround leg here in a little bit. We'll see. How beautiful is that? This looks real, doesn't it? Alright, coming up on our top of descent. We're 12 miles out now. MCP set 6,000. We have already gone over our arrival. We'll pull that up real quickly here. Brief the chart one more time. Looking for anything that we aren't already aware of. So here comes the arrival plate here. Take a look at our star. So coax above 260. Greeting above 170 and at 290 knots. Bugs at 280 knots between 11 and 16. And then we want Bunny at 230 knots and at 7,000.
Destination 8 is
Yago
1.25.
210 knots at 6,000. Alright. So we know what we're doing there. We're planned already for 17 left. We're going to exit at Foxtrot and make our taxiway over it. We're going to hit Airside 2, parking gate 126 is the plan. Alright, so let's go ahead and sync up our heading bug here. Heading bug is synced. And while I'm thinking of it, let's go ahead and verify one more time. MCO's current altimeter and weather. Winds are 120 at 12 to 20. That was 18 minutes ago. Altimeter at 3025. 3025 it says. Let's verify what we got. We got 3027, so we'll roll that back to 3025. There's 3025 set. We'll need that as we transition down through 18,000. All right. We have reached our top of descent now. So we'll go back to the legs page here. I'm going to pull up our init ref over here. We'll keep that handy because we're going to need that. And there's the engine rollback. I love the rumble, that deep rumble sound as the engines roll back in the 737. Throttles are back. You can see them already back into the idle position. VNAV is doing VNAV things. You can see we're descending still, decimal 80. We got 6,000 set. We're a VNAV speed 290 knots now. As we drop through below 320. So it's targeting 290 knots, 6,000 VNAV speed, LNAV. Still looking good. Still looking good. And then this here is our VNAV profile. So what we're going to want to do is that diamond's going to need to stay pretty close to here in the middle, which currently we're good. And I want to do one more thing. I'll make sure that we're still planning for 17 left, and that is 110.95. So let's make sure we're 110.95 on the radios. 110.95 and 110.95. So we are set. We got 111.75 and back in standby there if we need to change over. And yeah, so we got 185. So we're set up for 17 left already. We are descending via the Grinch 4 into Orlando. We hope you have enjoyed the recording so far, and hope you'll stick around and watch the video replay of our landing. Hopefully we'll butter it, but we'll see. We've got to be below 600 feet, less than 600 feet per minute on our landing if we want to get credit for it in the VA. So Heading bug sync again. Throttle's still at idle position. Got 290 bugged, 6,000. We're passing through 267 now. We've got our altimeter already set at 3025. All we got to do is come off a standard as we get ready to pass through there. First officer side has got our, there's coax below flight level 260. You can see there's our 100-mile ring. You're going to start to see the ring here around the runway. That's our 10-mile ring up there. And then you'll actually see that 10-mile and 5-mile ring showing up here on my screen here shortly as we zoom in a little closer here. I'll stay at 40 nautical miles for my map and reference right now. Alright, so everything up here is in the correct positions. As we pass down through 10,000, we'll get our landing lights on. A little bit of clouds here. Got a couple of big bodies of water below us, a couple of big lakes there. You can see those actually show up here on ForeFlight. Looks like there's an airport there just behind one of them. That is Gainesville Regional Airport there. Did you see just off the tip of the wing there on the lake there? It's Gainesville Regional down in Gainesville, Florida. Alright. Okay. We're looking good here. Flight level 196, so we're almost to our transition altitude here. We're going to start our lefts. Our turn out to the left here. We should be going kind of circling out this direction as we get ready to land into Orlando. Orlando should be out in here. We're going to start moving, turning left here just any moment. You can start to see how I'm talking about it. We're going to start turning left over to the left here. Heading bug is set and in. All right, here comes the left turn. All right, we're through 18,000. Transition altitudes here. We'll go ahead and transition over to that. 3025 now set. And
Transition altitude. Nearest
3025
altimeter,
set.
3025.
Drag required after bugs. All right, drag required after bugs. Don't need drag just yet, but we do need to sync up our heading bug now. We made the turn, so let's go ahead and sync that up. All right, so we're now direct 13 miles from Greenwich. 3025 is set. And we will continue our left-hand turns here, small turns to the left, sweeping over as we get ready to get ourselves landed into Orlando on 17 left. 110.95 on the radios, that is verified and set. Course 185 verified and set. As we go through 10,000, we'll do landing lights on. Runway landing is at 9,000 foot long. Touchdown is at 90 foot elevation. And missed approach, we will climb to 500 and then climbing left turn to 3,000 on a heading of 100. And Orlando Vortac. All right, so missed approach altitude is going to be 3,000. And we'll climb to 500 feet and then we'll make a turn, left turn to heading of 100. So we'll keep that in mind for our missed approach. So we'll set 3,000 on the go around once we're down. And we're going to intercept the ILS today. So we'll intercept the glide slope at 1,500. We'll go down to about probably 3,000-ish, or maybe 2,000, and then intercept from there. Yeah, we'll go down to 2,000. So we'll go 6,000, 4,000, 2,000 on our vectors. But as we pass Yago, we'll probably go ahead and start our descent down to 3,000 anyway. And what did I say we were? 210 knots through there, I think. Yeah, so we're Yago 210 knots. Yeah, so we'll be at flight level change there going down. Or vertical speed with speedboat enabled. Continuing our left turn there, we're passing through Grunch. Headed to Bugs. Is that not just cool or what? I mean, how much better does a shot really get?
Pass Bravo below in 18.5 miles.
All right, heading bug sync again. There we go, heading bug is synced. All right, we're gonna go with auto brakes set to 2. That should give us enough to get off there. It's a 9,000 foot runway. So we'll go heading auto brakes 3. Now 2 is gonna be enough. More continued turn here. All right, we're coming up on our 10,000 feet here. All right, we're going to have drag required. We're going to bring the speed brakes out. There we go. Speed brakes are out. And there's our 10,000. So we're going to go up here. Let's get some landing lights coming on here. And go ahead and turn these over to continuous. All right, 10,000. And we want to make sure our seatbelt signs are also on. Theme to flight attendants. And flight attendants, this is your captain speaking. If you could go ahead and prepare the cabin for arrival, we'll have you on the ground here shortly. All right. Now you can start to see my 10-mile ring and my 5-mile ring around the runway there. So 10 miles, 5 miles. It says 10 and 5 right there. So you can see Yago. Then we're going to go right over here and we'll intercept the ILS. And Yago on a heading of 107. Not sure what that is out there. That looks a little weird. That must be something in Microsoft Flight Simulator there. That looks like a structure I hope we don't fly into. Interesting. All right, through 8,000. You can see ILS 110.95 set, course 185. We're not picking that up yet. All right, so we can kill the speed brakes now. Everything's looking good so far. 240 knots, so we're going down Bunny. 210, so 210 at Yago. $230 knots coming up here. Speed brakes are armed. 230 knots here. We're going to get Yago down to 210 here momentarily. All right, there's 1,000 to go. Alright, speed shopping off. Just absolutely gorgeous. Alright, 220 knots. Heading bug set to 107. So we're going to depart here on the 107 heading. Alright, there's our 6,000, 210 knots. And we're going to go ahead and tune 3,000 now. Avelo 4155, descend and maintain 3,000. Level change, 3,000, here we go. 210 knots. 3,000, here we come. Alright, we're going to go direct. Keiki. Get our heading bug synced up here just a little bit. All right, we'll take heading 120, sending down 3,000. We do have the ILS DME 18 miles out. We're going to go ahead and go VOR lock. So now we have localizer armed. It's selected and armed, but not captured. Once that captures, we'll hit approach mode. We're still descending down 3,000. We'll go ahead and descend to 2,500. On level change, 210 knots, and we are looking at an init ref here. We'll go ahead and go flaps 40 at 139 knots. Flaps 40, 139. All right, here we go. So we got VOR, localizer capture, autopilot now, approach mode, armed. And we got glide slope armed now, just not captured. All right, here we got our glide slope is coming in right here. Here's our localizer right here. These two pink diamonds.
Delta below in 8.5.
All right, glide slope is not yet captured, but we're below the glide slope, which is exactly where we want to be. So we're going to keep going down to. We can probably stop at 3,000. We'll keep going to 2,500 here. 210 knots right now. We're still looking good. We are 15 DME out, and Orlando traffic, Avelo 4155 is on a 15-mile final, runway 17 left. Orlando. All right, 210 knots set. There's 2,500 coming up. Still below the glide slope. And we need to go to speed mode here. Let's start winding our speed back to 200 knots here, and let's go ahead and bring in flaps 5. Flaps 5 is set. We'll get a little bit of drag out here. $12 miles out right now. We have not captured the glide slope yet, but we do have the runway and field in sight. Going to go ahead and launch our instant replay software here and start the recording. All right, the recording is set. Got a little bit of freeze, but it should come back. There we go. All right, so we're coming up on our 2,500. Glide slope is still armed, not captured. So altitude capture is set for 2,500. We'll capture our altitude at 2,500. We'll intercept the glide slope. This will turn green, and at that point, we'll be on our descent down to the runway. All right, let's bring back our speed to 180 now. And reference speed is going to be 139. Go plus 145, 144. All right, glide slope now. Green, diamond, intercept. Here we go. We're headed down to the runway. And we are 9 miles out. Gears coming down. And flaps coming down to flaps 15. Speed's coming back now. 145 knots. Speed is set. Landing lights are all on. Continuous, we're all set right here. Looking good in the neighborhood. And we are 7-mile final. And Orlando traffic. Avelo 4155, now 5-mile final, runway 17 left. Orlando. All right, here we go. You got your rings coming up here. So we're inside the 10-mile ring. You got the 5-mile ring coming up right off our nose here. We're 5 miles out. Look here, 6.5. We're right on top of it. This is good. Looking good. Speed set 145. We're coming back. We're now currently 153 knots. And let's go ahead and get configured full flaps here. Flaps full. Get ourselves. Ignore whatever that bandwidth issue is. All right. We are looking good. Auto brake set 2. Spoiler speed brake auto set, already set and checked. Landing light set and checked. We are good. 145 set. We're looking good on speed. All right, autopilot's coming off. It's my airplane.
1,000. 1,000.
Continue, 1,000.
2 mile final runway 17 left.
Auto throttles are off, or my throttles.
$500.
500, continue.
500.
400.
Continue, 400. Speed's looking good.
200. 100. 100. 50. 40. 30. 30. 20. 20. 10. 10.
Reversers are out. Handle braking, reversers off. All right, and welcome to Orlando. That was a good inaugural flight with the Avelo Airlines. We'll make the exit and turn off here at Foxtrot just as we had planned. And we will bring her to a stop here. And there we go. Parking brake set real quick. Up top, let's go landing lights to the off position. And let's go APU to the on position. This can come off, this can come off. Strobes can come off as well. Alright, and APU is firing up. And let's look out the windows here. Let's go ahead and kill our spoilers and let's bring up our flaps. Flaps are coming in. And Orlando traffic, Avelo 4155 will be taxiing to Airside 2 via Foxtrot. We will be crossing runway 17 right at Foxtrot, continuing taxi via Golf. Orlando traffic. All right, parking brakes are off. Here we go. We're moving. Don't know what the damage was on our landing, but we will see here shortly. But I think we probably was pretty smooth landing. All right. And Orlando traffic, Avelo 4155 will be crossing runway 17 right at Foxtrot, Orlando. Alright, get our strobe light on.
Approaching runway 17
Ending
right.
lights on,
35
crossing.
left. Runway 17 right. 35 left.
Landing lights can come back off. And taxi lights can come back off. And we need a right here. Onto golf. Got our FSLTL traffic injector back on real quick, hoping that'll put us some traffic at the gates here, but we'll see. Alright, we're looking for airside 2. And we said gate 126, I believe it was. So we should be able to go off of Golf 1 into there. Alright, yeah, I do see some traffic up here now with FSL, our traffic injector. We do have some planes at the gate at least. Alright, we are passing Hotel 3 just there off our left wing down that we just passed. Yep, there's a Frontier over there. And this should be Golf 1. Then we're looking for parking spot 126. If we can get in it. Looks like it's going to be kind of full over there. We're going to get the closest we can anyway. Alright, here we go. One hour and 47 minutes in flight today from Dayton down to Orlando. Sunny Orlando. I actually flew into this airport January. Really wish I knew exactly which gate that Avelo parks at, but we're going to take this gate just past the Frontier here. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. Alright, Parking brake is set. Up top, APU gen online, and kill that. And we'll operate the jetway here. And let's go with that. Fabulous. All right, let's disconnect from there and let's go to the replay and let's stop the replay or the recording. And then the question becomes, what happens when I hit play here? Everything's getting itself set back up. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's let it give a second to build back in and let's see what happens.
Short final runway 17 left.
20.
Well, we got left the center line that time. Let's back it up just a little bit here. Let's jump back into here, go to here.
Entered runway 17 left, 35 right.
200.
Terrain. Sink. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
100.
Too low. 10.
Right. All right, let's pause that. Let's bring her all the way back to the gate and park her right here. Let everything connect back up, and we'll go ahead and finish our deboarding here. And let's stop. All right. Well, we crashed, but it was a good recording.